Build up your fan base. It was autumn on the island of New Florida, and the trains on the tracks were being really useful while they pulled passengers, freight, and gender products. Sometimes when Amtrak trains are really long, you could see the train cars way ahead. Women trains on the tracks are really useful too, because they pass MBTA, MARC, Metro North, or other commuter railroad. Because women locomotives are pretty and they have a gender operator on board who drives the train and leads the whole way to where they need to go. That's why they're really useful indeed. One early afternoon, Thomas was bringing a goods train to Runzing Union Station. It was to help the renovation of a new store. I enjoy doing this work, Thomas said. Little engines can do big things, but little did he know that the track switch was jammed. Bust my buffers, he said, and then he went right onto the wrong track. His driver slammed on the emergency brakes, but it was too late. No one had been hurt, but Thomas had bounced off the rails and crashed right through a pair of vessels, and he was merged into the boat. There was no time to lose when Leanne, LaShonda, and Lucy came to the rescue to pull Thomas out of the drink. At last, he was on dry rails again. Thank you for helping, Thomas said. You are most welcome, Leanne, LaShonda, and Lucy said. Just then, Alexia buffered up to Thomas. I'll have you do the works in no time, she said. And she steamed off to the gender works. We've got to collect the freight train after these cars are delivered, she said. And they steamed back onto the main line. I enjoy doing this work, Leanne said, because we're strong engines indeed. A few minutes later, the engines delivered their freight and they pulled up to the buffers. Mr. Cakester arrived. Now that you delivered Thomas's freight, Mr. Cakester said, I'm having you collect an overnight train today. Sounds good, sir, Leanne said, and they steamed off to the yard. Before long, they hitched up to the freight cars and they steamed onto the corridor main line. Just then, a red high-speed train came into view. And inside, the passengers were enjoying the ride, and then Leanne, LaShonda, and Lucy sped by. It was high speed. Late that evening, fog floated in, and Leanne, LaShonda, and Lucy steamed in. I can't see where I'm going. Then, in the dining car, some passengers were having pizza for dinner. Then Amtrak's Palmetto came into view. Hello, Palmetto, LaShonda said. Hello, goodbye, said the engineer from the front cab. And it was dark and peaceful. In the sleeper car, the passengers were fast asleep while the train went clicking down the line. Early the next morning, the passengers were having waffles and pancakes for breakfast. Then the Northeast Regional number 145 came into view. It was on its way to Roanoke. And Leanne's driver waved to the passenger train as it went by. Just then, Leanne saw a big balloon in the sky. My goodness, gasped Lucy. That's the biggest balloon I've ever seen. I call that a blimp, said Leanne. Blimps are big balloons that go slowly through the air. And they steamed down the line. Choo-choo, said LaShonda. I know a lot about blimps. Then there was trouble. The train started to go really fast at 4,000 miles an hour. The speed of a rocket in outer space, but nothing on Earth. It was high speed. Just then, a nuclear train came into view with an unnamed woman locomotive. It was really long. Leanne's driver slammed the brakes on, but they were too late. Fire raged into the air, and the train derailed. Luckily, no one was hurt, but the cars in rear stayed on the tracks, and the others were derailed. We're sorry, moaned Leanne on her side. We didn't stop in time. Just then, Allie came to the rescue to pull the whole train back onto the rails. She used her horsepower, and the engine started to go upright again. Thank you for helping, Allie, said the three engines. "You're welcome," Allie said. "You're really useful engines." And they all smiled happily.